Hello grade 10s, welcome back to another video. So this is the last theory video of the term, and we will be doing creative thinking and problem solving. So every Wednesday for the past, I think 4 or 3 weeks, I have been posting videos. For the past 3 weeks I have been posting business studies theory videos every Wednesday, so you can go and check them out. From next week we will look more into answering these questions in the form of tests. And so thank you for tuning in. If you are new here, please subscribe, and if you are returning, you have been here first term, second term, hi and welcome. Yes, so we'll be doing creative thinking and problem solving today. I hope you know what is creative thinking. Do you know how to sit down and come back with ideas? That is creative thinking. And sitting down and coming back with ideas help you solve problems, right? You and your friends got caught for doing something mischievous, and now you have to find yourself a way out of that problem you had created for yourself. And your parents are on your neck, and now you and your friends come together, think, and come up with ideas on how to solve a matter at hand. And so you use creative thinking to solve problems, and that's exactly what businesses do as well. Okay, they come up with creative ways to solve existing problems. So you need to know what is creative thinking and develop your own creativity, and then you need to know the problem solving steps and implementing creative business opportunities. Okay, so let's get right into it. Don't forget to like, comment, give me your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think? What can be improved? What more videos would you like to see? And if you're struggling with mathematics, there's a mathematics membership for $229 per month, and you can just join that where mathematics has been taken slow to take you out from level 1, 2, or 3 if you are there, to at least level 4, 5, 6, or 7, because math is not actually quite difficult. It's just the matter of the type of explanation you're getting, and how much can you go back and rewind on that explanation to be able to make sure that you truly understand what has been dealt with. So you can check that out, or you can check the membership for all things academic, where we deal with varsity subjects that you need and all that stuff. So what is creative thinking? So creative means being able to think of something new or original. That's what I've said at the beginning, that you hear and come up with ideas, fresh ideas, something that the next person wouldn't be able to think about, and the next person comes up with something that you wouldn't be able to think about. Is creative thinking, is being able to come up with something new and original, something that has not yet been used. Like, how can we modify this? This is how we can. So creativity in business can help you to think of a completely new business idea. You saw a gap in the market, people struggling with what, and you create something fresh. Okay, improve an existing product in a unique way. Think of better ways to serve your customers, attract new customers, solve problems that your customers might experience. Hence, I decided also that let's have a mathematics membership whereby we teach basics of maths. It's something that I saw that is a lot of learners that I also help tutor and teach, they have problems with is basics, and basics build up mathematics. Okay, it builds up mathematics, and if you are not strong with your basics, then you probably cannot solve hard problems. Hard problems are coming from rules and regulations of mathematics that you yourself have to apply. Okay, so you apply them in all difficult scenarios that you are before you, that you have to solve. So hence why I also like, let's take it slow and do it different. All right, that is my creative thinking space of how I was able to think creatively. So you develop your own creativity. So how do you develop your own creativity? Where you nurture a space for yourself where you are constantly thinking creative is developing your own creativity. Okay, there are several things that you can do to maintain and develop creative abilities. So if you're constantly being mocked when you come out with ideas, that kills your creativity spirit. So we should not, when we are being creative and coming up with ideas, we should not be criticizing each other just by me voicing out something and you criticizing me. Okay, that is not it. We don't do that. We write all the ideas, no matter how funny or silly you think the idea is, you write it down, and then we're just going to analyze and discuss it later. Then you might find out like, okay, when we add this and this and this to this idea, it's actually great. So criticizing ideas that you have not thought of, that you have not put down and try to see if this thing can work, is not good. It's you hindering the creative process. So 2.1, how to develop your own creativity. Think, think, think. So develop the habit of thinking about what is happening around you and question yourself. From questions comes answers, okay? And other ways to solve problems that are already there. You come up with something new and original by constantly thinking and asking yourself questions. And then number 2 says, write it down. Write down ideas as they come into your head. Don't just think about it and leave it. No, write them down. Write those ideas down, and by the time you have to execute that idea, you have already written everything that came to you at that time. Like singers, people who sing, when they get a song, they record it maybe on their phone. They record whatever they're feeling, and then they'll be going to the producer, and then that's where they'll be able to finesse the song in order for it to be commercialized and for you guys to be able to listen to it. Okay, so you don't just hinder creativity. You don't just whatever you think about, write it down and think about it later again. Like, I got this idea and how can we make it better? And revise your ideas. Go to them and revise them. Read them out loud. Compare one idea with another and combine one idea with another. Okay? Ask questions about something that you have always just accepted. Like, why is it important to go to school? I know you just been going to school but what are the essence and importance of you going to school and learning how to read, write, and different subject? Why is it important for you to know business studies? Why is it important for you to know accounting, mathematics? Why is it important for you to go to university? And if you ask yourself those questions, you will get the answer. Why? Okay, a person who has went to school and a person who has not went to school, people who have went to school are more exposed, okay? More exposed to information. So it's not a bad thing to go to school or to learn. It just widens your horizon. You are more exposed to certain things, and you're able to create scenarios that stimulate your creativity, and the way things in which you articulate yourself and you build your vocabulary when you go to school compared to someone who has not gone to school. When you have not gone to school, you just know things by experience. But things that we know for experience are not necessarily the things that will get you to the top. Let's say things like, when you have a business, you need to know about SARS and tax. A lot of business people who have not went to school and know nothing about SARS, they just find it as an institution that is just trying to suck out money from them. And they don't understand that they have a responsibility to pay, to do their tax claims. SARS tax you on your profit, not on your income. And a lot of people do not able to understand those types of concepts. But if you went to school, you understand, and it's not a big deal. And ways to avoid tax. So ask questions of things that you found that are normal, but like ask more questions and see, and you will get answers. So break the rules. People create habits and fall into a rut. So you can break the rules. Don't try to do something out of go the unconventional way. Things people have been doing this for years. Let me see if I can do it different from them, if it will work. You hear me? So that is breaking rules. And then banish fear. Okay? So do not fear. Sometimes you just dream so big that you fear. Do not fear your dreams. Or when you're sitting here in class and your classmates are talking about what they want to be in future, or what they are when they grow up, and you feel like your dreams are bigger than your friends and you should alter them to accommodate people. Don't. If you want to stay in the mansion, drive that fancy car, that 3 million car, and your friend just wants the basic minimum, then that is not your problem. Okay, that is your friend's dream, not yours. You stick to yours and remove fear. So unit 2 is entrepreneurial opportunities, okay? Solving entrepreneurial opportunities through creative thinking. So there's a problem solving. When you solve a problem, there are steps to follow for you to solve a problem, okay? A problem occurs when things are not going as they should. If you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing, like the video as well, because the more you like, the more I'm compelled to create this type of videos for you guys so that you do not stay behind. Anyhow, so some problems such as natural disasters cannot be predicted. Other problems develop over a period of time and are predicted. Monitoring the performance of business helps to recognize problems. So it's very important for businesses to monitor progress and performance because you're able to know, this one is not working. Probably we should improve it. Okay? So problem solving can start with research. Okay, there are numerous ways in which you can find information to help you recognize when there is a problem. These include quality control of production in a business. This is how you solve problems in a business context. Okay, so you do quality control of production. You sales report indicating a sudden drop in sales figures. So you will go as a business owner or as a business analytics or a consultant that the business came to help them solve their problems, to look at their financial statements. If you do accounting, you know all about that. You have done your income statements. If not, then you are yet to do them income 3. Yes, so you look at sales figures from, let's say the sales figure from January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. You just compare that and see like if there was any drop in sales or whatsoever. So you basically consume information that is in the business. You look at everything to see if there's no way that the business had flipped or fumbled anything in the process of the business, okay? And then consumer feedback and complaints. So you look at the consumer feedbacks and complaints. Probably you talk to their customers. And then magazines and business newspapers with financial information, and monitoring your own organization for problems such as staff turnover due to unhappy staff. So research is gathering information, and then problem solving versus decision making. So problem solving is the process of analyzing a situation in a systematic step-by-step way and then generating solutions, implementing the solutions, and evaluating the results. That is problem solving. Process of analyzing situations in a systematic way. So you are always analyzing. That is problem solving, trying to find gaps in which you will close. But decision making is part of the process of problem solving and takes place at every step of problem solving. For you to decide, let me check at the salaries and wages journal. Let's say, for instance, it's a decision, right? So a decision is a continuous thing that you take in problem solving to choose what you are doing. So that is a decision. And then the problem solving cycle. So the steps of problem cycles, you identify the problem. Before you solve a problem, you have to know what is the problem. Okay, the problem is that children are struggling with maths. And then number 2, define the problem. Give the problem a label to make it easier to find a solution. The problem is maths. Define the problem. Children are struggling with maths, so that you formulate a strategy. Children are struggling with maths. How can I help them? And then you formulate and think of various solutions to the problem. And then you allocate resources. Okay, maybe money, time, equipment, and so forth. And then you implement. So now when you're implementing is when you're doing. Well, you see, you're implementing, you're putting something into practice. When you say, I want to pass, what you have to do is to study. Are you studying? You've drawn a timetable. Are you following the timetable? The moment you follow the timetable and do the work that's required in the timetable, you are what? Implementing. Okay, implementing means doing. And then now you monitor the problem solving. Now you have implemented, you have done your reading. Now you have to see, am I passing when I'm reading? That's when you know, yes, I'm passing. So it means that the problem is okay. But if you're not passing when you're reading, then you have to change the way you read, right? And then evaluate the problem solving process. Evaluate so that you can see what was done right and where it can be improved. I am reading. Now that I've started reading, I've gotten level 5, but how can I improve it? Let me incorporate question papers, you see, in my reading. And that what just makes everything better improve the systems that you have put into place. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with your friends and families, and I hope you're still enjoying the video. So here we have problem-solving techniques. Now, these are the problem-solving techniques listed as problem-solving techniques, or solve this problem using the problem-solving techniques. These are the techniques that you're going to use. So, first field analysis is the first problem-solving technique. First field analysis is used to plan a change in product or service. Negative forces are identified and steps taken to limit them. So positive forces are identified and strengthened. Okay, so is used to plan a change in product or service. I want to change a product or service, I use first field. And then negative forces are identified. This is the negative part. And steps are taken to limit negativity. And you limit negativity, you strengthen positivity with force field analysis. And then the chair technique, explain the problem aloud to an imaginary person sitting in a chair. It encourages clear thinking. Let's say you put a chair, empty chair in front of you, and behave as if you are talking to a person and presenting to them. That is the chair technique. That enables you to come up with new ways of solving problems, because you feel like you're talking to somebody instead of just talking to a blind wall. And then the empty chair technique. Empty chair technique, some people find it easy to talk when there is nobody to hear them. Somebody who has a problem can talk to an empty chair to voice frustration. Another person writes down the problem and possible solution. So it depends whether you have a problem on talking to an empty chair, or you can talk to an empty chair as well. It's similar to chair technique, but another person can decide to just write down their problem and possible solutions. So some people believe that they can't talk to an empty chair, so that's empty chair technique. And then brainstorming. Now, steps for brainstorming. Write down all your thoughts. When you brainstorm, it's a widely used one. Brainstorming is a commonly used type of creative thinking process. Technique. You write down your thoughts. The group will evaluate the idea in the last step. So everybody writes down their thoughts about a problem. And then after, we come and voice them out individually. And take the ideas done by one and list the advantages and disadvantages. So we are 4 of us. Everyone has listed their solutions. And then we sit down, look at the advantage and disadvantage of every solution, and then evaluate each idea and choose the best one from that. And then guidelines for brainstorming is that do not criticize any idea during the first step. Do not judge any idea before evaluation. Accept all ideas, even if they seem silly at times, and generate as many ideas as possible. You can extend some of the ideas and combine ideas. Okay? And then there's a Delphi technique. So the Delphi technique involves the use of a series of confidential questionnaires to solve a problem. Experts in a field are asked for their opinion independently from one another. These are the steps involved. They identify the problem and ask the group members to write down 5 possible solutions to the problem on a specific design questionnaire. So you might be asked to solve a problem using the Delphi technique. You must be able to know all those techniques, guys. It's very important. So each group member completes the questionnaire independently and anonymously. The results are analyzed in a central place. Give a copy of the results to the group member and ask group member to give new and revised solutions. So you can read them and then step 3, 4, and 5 can be repeated until all members in the group idea. So if they don't agree with a technique, they start afresh. So nominal group technique. The nominal group technique encourages thinking because contributions are anonymous. Nominal group techniques uses the following steps: that with a clear and open mind, each person needs a few minutes in silence to brainstorm all the possible ideas. Each person contributes one idea in turn. Record all the ideas on a flip chart a number of letters to each idea. Each person in the group can then vote. So with nominal group technique, we vote for the best. And then forced combination, combine two seemingly unrelated ideas to come up with a new idea. For example, write down a number of words on separate scrap papers. So you combine two unrelated ideas to come up with one idea. Put all of this into a head and draw two scraps of papers, read the two papers, and think of something that would combine the two words. So that is forced combination, combining two things that are unrelated. And then we have scamper, or it is, yes, the S is for substitute, C is for combine, A is for adapt, M is for modify, P is for put to use, put to another use, E is eliminate, R is reverse. So start off with an existing product or services, then follow the steps. Can we use someone else for this purpose? Can we combine the resources with something else? So it's more of a modifying an existing product or service. Okay, do we need somebody else to render the service? How can we make it better? You see, can we remove a component of it to make it better? Like all those things. And then indigenous knowledge. Indigenous people are the people who were born in a particular place in South Africa. We have a number of indigenous groups, each with their own culture and traditions. In the past, people were taught to be intelligent only if they were schooled in the Western way. Today, people acknowledge the diversity of knowledge system that help people to understand their world and solve their problems. So indigenous knowledge in South Africa refer to the knowledge that is part of African philosophy, thought, and social practice developed over thousands of years. So when you're using indigenous knowledge, you are using the experiences of people who have lived before you. It's not based on a university study, but it's just based on how Black people perceive things or white people perceive things. And then you just draw knowledge from them. It's indigenous. So these are the continued points. Some of these are already part of our modern life. Example, the practice of stokvels is just a indigenous technique. So mind mapping and brainstorming. Mind mapping, some people think more creatively if they can draw pictures of their thinking process. Ideas or thoughts can be changed into a diagram or a mind map. Write down the main ideas in the center of a sheet of paper. Think of things that are connected to this main idea and write down keywords. So let's say you're going to write about your trip to Durban. It goes in the middle. Yeah, and then you're writing an essay, right, in English. And then about the most memorable trip you've ever had. So that's the most memorable trip you've ever had. It's Durban. You're going to talk about your visit to Ushaka Marine. You're going to write about your trip to the beach as subheadings. Ushaka Marine experience, the beach, and are your subheadings in your body. Okay, so that is mind mapping. And then brainstorming of ideas, as discussed above, can also be used to identify business opportunities. The same step must be followed as discussed under problem-solving technique. Okay, creative thinking and idea generation. This starts off with familiar concepts and then develop them into something completely different. Use the following 3 steps. Make a list of existing products. So this is the same the techniques that we talk about in brainstorming. I've already explained them. Use of non-conventional thinking. The Scamper method is an example of non-conventional thinking. Another method is lateral thinking, designed by Robert De Bono. Lateral thinking is a way of solving problems by using methods that do not seem logical at first. Each thinking has a color, and everybody mentally wears the same head at the same time and think from that specific point of view. So when you have generated enough ideas from that particular head, move to the next one. This method of creative thinking enables you to generate many ideas within a short space of time. So you have yellow head, purple head, white head, red head, green head, blue head. And then you decide, okay, yellow head, only the most optimistic point of view is considered. So you're only being positive, thinking about positive ideas to solve this problem. You're wearing the yellow head. And then when you wear the purple head, you are judgmental and critical. You must just be such a judgmental person and a critic, okay, when you're giving out your ideas. And then the white head, be factual, where you look for data and information, do your research here. And then the red head symbolizes emotions and feelings. If you wear this head, you are allowed to express your instinct or gut feeling about the product or service. And then the green head symbolizes true creativity and is used to generate new ideas. The blue, that is different in that only one person wears it at a time. The blue head has to control the process and enforce certain rules. So it's like a leader. And then sensory creativity. Our senses help us to experience the environment around us. So sensory creativity brainstorms all the ideas that involves the senses. And implementing creative business opportunities. So there are various ways to implement creative thinking opportunities. The best way will depend on how much capital you have. Think of a new idea in establishing a business, start a new business, offer a new product or service. Now we're going to look at a couple of activities, answer them, and help us wrap up this chapter. So this is question 2, is a short question. Pause the video, go through these questions, answer them, and I will show you the answers. It's part of learning, so you can do it to see if you understood, and then you will then see answers. I'm not going to go with them through you. I'm not going to go through them with you guys, but yeah. So this is 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3. And then this is 2. The end, a little bit of 2.3, and then we said 2.4. And then this is 2.4, and that is the end. Thank you very much for watching. Until the next video.